All right. Well, we got a segment here, Adrian, that this is also becoming somewhat of a fan favorite. Okay. It's we respond.
Okay.
So I got some comments and someone one of the comments this past week, they proposed the idea. I like this too. Them our fans like propose ideas. Hey, you guys should try this. They let us know what they want, right?
Okay.
And they say you should do a fan question segment. Like they give us some questions, we answer them. Mm-hmm. So I have a handful here. We'll do some of this with We Respond, okay? So I got my man here, Samuel DN7QU. Now he's got a handful of questions. I'm gonna pick a few. He says, I like hearing your opinions. We do too. We like hearing our opinions. But thank you. Do you think Armor Wars will be any good? So remember Armor Wars? This was originally supposed to be a show with Rhodey. Now in the comics, Armor Wars story is Tony Stark. I think I don't know if it's a government steals his Iron Man suits. Basically, someone has his tech and they have to fight to get it back or some shit. Have you ever read Armor Wars?
I think the premise is that because Tony Stark was so secretive, and he didn't want his tech to get in other people's hands. I mean, it was kind of like in what was it, Iron Man 2 when Justin Hammer.
Yep.
So what basically happened was they broke into his servers and stole the plans for it and he never patented any of it because he didn't want it to be out there.
Got it.
So if you patent it, all the designs are in the government's thing, and then the government would have it, and then after whatever the time limit is for patents, then everybody else would have it.
Yeah.
So he kept it to himself, which is how Justin Hammer got a hold to it and started making all these, war machine type suits.
Got it.
So outside of that, all the other armor and mech suits that everybody else was creating would have been just like he was portraying in the court. 15 years behind at best.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So the issue, and actually Samuel's question here, he goes, I love the comics, but if Tony Stark isn't in it, what's the point? How do you do Armor Wars without Tony Stark? Now, they're going to base it around Rhodey, right? War Machine, which we saw him was in Secret. He probably one of the halfway decent aspects of Secret Invasion was the Rhodey story, right? Seeing him kind of out of, he was a Skrull, was replaced him for years. We still don't know how long. But
it doesn't matter if he was a Skrull or not. The point is that he shined best because he wasn't in the armor.
Yes, true.
I didn't like Don Cheadle as Rhodey. He's not. He doesn't fit that Rhodey character.
Got it.
I also think it's a mistake to have the Armor Wars around Rhodey. But I mean, that's just
And this Armor Wars was originally supposed to be a show. They started working on it and decided to turn it into a movie. So do I think it will be any good based off of what they did with Secret Invasion? I'm going to go no. And based off the fact that we're doing an Iron Man story without Iron Man, I say no, dude. Do you think this is going to be any good?
I think so. First of all, I mean, Iron Man has been in so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Stark, has been in so much stuff. And Rhodey has taken on the, been Iron Man at points to replace Tony when Tony couldn't be there. So nobody really knew, right? Besides the fact that, some of Iron Man's suits are autonomous, so they can go and he can just send them out and do stuff without him. I don't think that it would be good because Tony Stark is not in it.
Yeah.
And I don't think it would be good from a public perspective because what's his face is not the actor.
Yeah.
So for those two reasons, it's okay if you just scratch the whole movie.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just dump it and move and
Yes.
put your energy into something else.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that it'll end up being like, Iron Man 3 with all the suits flying around.
Yeah.
It was a complete CF and you got all these blinking lights and squirrels running around the screen. So, no.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm with you. And to your point, we saw Armor Wars, at least aspects of that in Iron Man 2 already.
Right.
So just leave
2, 3, whatever it was.
Yeah, no, it was 2. Yeah, with
was
Justin
2.
Hammer, which I don't dislike 2 as much as a lot of people.
No.
I mean, I like all the Iron Man movies. Now, I would, obviously they're not better than, they are better than the Zack Snyder Justice League.
Yeah, but they're not better than the Batman.
Of course not, Adrian. Maybe the first one.
Edward.
Edward. And Samuel also goes on. He's got a few other here. He says, could they do a true mutant massacre in the X-Men? I don't think the MCU will do that.
They could, but it'd be like Star Trek, Kirk beams down. When you see a character, a lieutenant or whatever that you've never seen before, he's dead.
Yeah,
he's dead.
Exactly.
So there probably is some unknown, less popular mutants, and go through that process, so on and so forth.
And then this last one, he said, well, he has a few other, but I'll pick out here. Why hasn't Mr. Sinister shown up? Dude, I've been.
Good question.
Yeah, I agree. Why hasn't he?
Good question.
Now, actually, it's probably a good thing because they would have probably fucked him up. So hopefully they wait till they start portraying the X-Men properly on screen.
Right.
But Mr. Sinister, and that's another one in the second season of the animated series. Sinister plays he's the big villain. They actually tease him at the end of the first season. But dude, Sinister's badass.
Yeah.
I would love to see him done properly on screen.
There's no good answer as to why he hasn't shown up, but he needs to show up soon.
He definitely does. Next up, Zay Wicked 007 says, does Hugh really need to be recast, though? I feel like he should play the vet role like Toby, Cap, until Secret Wars. He goes on to say, basically, because what would be the point of Wolverine finally joining? He's to go. Basically, what he's saying is let Hugh play Wolverine until Secret Wars and then recast him. I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with that, too, because in the in that series about the future, about the Sentinels, Logan was there. He was older with the gray stripes and stuff like that. Yep. So there is, in Logan, the movie itself was a older version of Wolverine. Correct. So they could do that, and I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
No doubt. Now, with this one, BGJ197502 says, one of the best comic book-based podcasts around. Yes, I agree.
Cool.
Question. Cool. Henry Cavill as Captain Britain thoughts. So we talked about this earlier, and my final thought is I give that a thumbs up. Let's do it.
I agree.
Let's see. Derek on TikTok says, up to the point of Endgame, do you agree or disagree? Always using our nomenclature on us here.
Right.
Do you agree or disagree that DC had better TV shows, i.e. Arrow, Flash, etc., and Marvel had better movies? I say no because Marvel had the Netflix shows that I think are better than the DC shows. What do you say? You think the Arrow shows, they're up until Endgame, he's saying that DC had better shows?
I will say I disagree with the exact question.
Yeah.
However, I do agree that DC had better shows than they do movies.
Yes.
And Marvel has very good shows, the Netflix shows.
Yep.
And very good movies.
Right.
DC has, now when you want to cross-pollinate, DC has better animation than Marvel does.
Up until the Spider-Verse movies.
Up until the Spider-Verse. And Marvel has better movies than they do animations.
Yes. Yep. So I guess
So that's a long, complex answer.
Yep.
But I don't agree with his specific outlook, but I do agree that they have better TV shows than they do movie, DC.
Right. You'll probably agree with this one. Matthew Ricotta says, is that Ricotta like Ricotta? That's a cool last name. Or I don't know if it's a fake name for TikTok. But anyways, it has nothing to do with this.
Ricotta like the cheese?
Yeah. Ricotta.
Okay,
That's cool. A cool last name.
Cool.
So he says, you guys are great. Thanks for the nerd content.
Cool.
I agree. Do you agree with this?
I'm feeling some kind of way about the nerd thing, but that's okay. It's all good. It's all good.
So that Super Samoan, he's a fan of the show. I've seen him comment a bunch. That Super Samoan, he says, my wife is a huge Gambit fan, and even she tells me she's against Channing Tatum as Gambit. How do you feel about it? There's been a rumor for years that Channing Tatum is going to play Gambit.
I feel about that like I do Nicolas Cage about being Superman.
Oh, damn. See, now, do you at least think he looks the part?
No.
You
not
don't?
at all.
Really?
Not at all. Channing, the best movie I saw him in was when he played that wolf space dude with that other chick about human harvesting or whatever.
Okay, I've never seen that.
That's about it. I mean, that's as close to superhero as I want to see him.
Got it.
I mean, I could be wrong. He can find his character.
Yeah.
Gambit is not it.
Yeah, so for him, I think he could have the look down. I've seen a lot of like fan art where they kind of put his face in there.
Nope.
But I don't think he is a good enough actor. Because I love Gambit. And I'm going to like the animated series Gambit. This one, dude, the voice actor, and I hope he doesn't I hope his voice doesn't sound really fucked up after 30 years too. But I guess we'll find out.
Right.
But his portrayal in that show was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So I have high hopes for Gambit, and I don't think Channing Tatum can deliver to those.
Nope.
Jersey, not Jersey, Jersey, Jershy or Jershy. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. It says, I got to say, I love this damn account. Honest reviews and great takes. Me too.
Enough said.
So we were talking about Reed Richards. We were talking about Pedro Pascal. We gave our thoughts on that last week, and we were kind of 50-50. Jim Otzi on TikTok says, argument, nobody saw Heath Ledger as Joker, and yet, so I guess he's saying, a lot of people felt some type of way when Heath Ledger was casted as Joker, and he knocked it out of the park. Now, I would say this, 50-50 here. So I guess you're kind of proving our point. Heath Ledger, he didn't need to look the part because he wore makeup.
Right.
So that didn't matter that he didn't look like Joker, but he was a great actor, and he had a great portrayal of Joker. So it's kind of like Pedro Pascal. He doesn't look the part, but he's a great actor. I do think he can knock it out of the park.
I will wait and see. I just don't go by. I mean, he just doesn't look the part to me.
Yeah.
So I'm trying not to let that be a bias as far as his acting is concerned. I didn't think Chadwick Boseman was Black Panther-ish.
Really? You didn't when he was casted?
No, I was like, who is this clown?
Yeah.
Right? So, but he knocked it out the park. So I agree with what he's saying.
Yep.
The concept of what he's saying, but I'll reserve that I don't think that Pascal is going to be the Reed Richards. I would love to be wrong, and I'm okay with being wrong.
Right.
But I'm just not feeling it initially. I'm not feeling it like what's his face being Captain Britain, or I'm forgetting everybody's name today. Anyway, Black Panther, actor,
Chadwick
perfect.
Boseman,
Captain America, actor, perfect.
Yes.
Wanda Maximoff,
perfect.
actor, perfect. Tony Stark, actor, perfect. I mean, there are just some. Henry Cavill as the Superman, perfect.
Robert Pattinson as the Batman,
not at all. I mean, it just. But then you get like the weird ones where the kid that played the last Flash. I mean, that's just a perfect example of what not to do.
Right.
So I'm just not seeing Pascal at this point. Please change my mind. I'm cool with it.
And then we got, I think the universe out there is 50-50. So most of these comments are on the same video. So we got Frank Monkey 79. He doesn't fit. I don't know. Tommy Ryu says, I don't see it either. User 687, like, dude, can you just get a name instead of being user 687? Like, how? And you have a profile photo. Why don't you have a TikTok name? He says he's going to kill it. Now, the Battle Hammer says, will you also think the 7 can beat the Justice League? LOL. We don't think we know. What else we got this week? We have on YouTube, my man Roby1, I believe that says, Taylor Swift as Dazzler works. I agree. And then what else we got? So, it's my man Andrew Duncan is the one that said, great episode. You guys should think about doing fan-submitted questions segment. I think I agree. Submit your questions.
Sure.
We'll hit them up each week. Let's do it. In Orbit says, I was sad Black Adam wasn't a villain. Imagine him and Superman fighting. I know, right?
That's Black Adam's entire existence.
Right.
I mean, in the comics. I mean, he's one of those king, the high evolutionary, I want to take over everything and kill whoever's in my way kind of thing. But he is a villain.
Right.
And he should be portrayed as one.
Yep. S1RK says, people saying it might be Daniel Radcliffe. I'm so excited about Patch. So we mentioned Patch, the Wolverine variant in the Deadpool trailer, remember? Yeah. So there's a rumor that Harry Potter is going to play Patch. How do you feel about that?
Daniel Radcliffe has struggled since Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I hope that he can do something movie worthy.
He's bulked up though lately.
So I did see one movie where he played some kind of villain.
Yeah.
He did a decent job with that. So I mean, if he can pull it off, I applaud him. You know, I'd like to see him in something adult, but I've seen typically kids that have these real popular kid-centric movies, they don't transition well into adult stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah. I saw some pictures of him recently, and he was jacked.
Oh,
so
yeah?
that's also where the rumors kind of like, I don't think it started there, but it added to the rumor, like, why is Harry Potter getting jacked right now? You know, like maybe to play a Wolverine variant. I think from a look perspective, I think he could pull it off.
I could see it. I could see it. I mean, we probably should, stop shitting on these people, about their past lives. Except for Edward.
Except for Edward, yeah, for you.
Except for Edward. We should give him a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a long time.
Right.
So, I mean, if that's what he's trying to do, I applaud him.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see.
Yeah, I would be cool with it, dude. So yeah, I'm not mad at that. We got a couple more here. We had two more, Adrian. Angelo Cano says Duncan over Starbucks. Yes. See, he gets it.
Right.
We've been trying to tell him this for weeks.
Right. I mean, get with it, Duncan.
Yeah, seriously.
We were run on Duncan too if you submit it.
Dude, you know what's funny? We showed up here this morning. I didn't see a box of Joe anywhere. Did you?
I'm definitely not a box of Joe.
Nope.
I mean, I had my cup of Joe.
Yeah, that you had to buy.
That I had to buy.
Did they give you any free donuts?
Not even Wednesday. No. No senior discount or nothing, man. You can pull off at least a senior, discount, but
you're not old enough for a senior discount, dude. Someone asked a few weeks ago again if your beard was dyed. I'm tired of trying to explain this to people.
No. This is naturally grown, naturally aged, stress, just like everything else.
There you go. And then the last one. Media giant, he says. I wonder, is he really a media giant? If you're a media giant, dude, help us out.
Dude, that's Tom Cruise. That's Tom Cruise.
I don't think there's anything giant about Tom Cruise. He's at the perfect height to play Patch, by the way.
Or Puck from the Alpha Flight.
Hey, we did suggest an Alpha Flight movie, dude. If I see that rumor next week, I'm done. We're just gonna do a prediction show for now on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We're gonna be like that lady with the
Cleo.
Yeah. Cleo.
Call me now. Yeah.
yeah. Start a psychic hotline or something.
Oh, we're aging. I wonder how many of our viewers are about our age. This question has nothing to do with the comics, but do you remember Miss Cleo? And if you ever called them, let us know.
Well, there is like a 15, 20-year difference between us, though.
True.
So if they remember it, that's a nice place to be. But
yeah,
that's a wide age range.
But I've always wondered though, like people have obviously called her. It's why they ran the commercials for so long, right? So if you did call Miss Cleo, let us know. Matter of fact, we'll start a Miss Cleo support group. We'll do a small segment each week. But anyways, my man Media Giant here. I want to know who you guys feel is the best cinematic character version of Batman. This is where we don't agree. I'll start. I will say, and you're gonna fall out of your chair, Adrian, but I think you know where I'm going.
Right.
As of today, now, cinematic version of Batman is Robert Pattinson. I thought he was the best Batman portrayal. I thought that he was in the suit more than any other Batman. He didn't just show up for the action scenes. He didn't have that stupid voice that Christian Bale had, which I probably know that's where you're going, so I'm going to throw out there first. But I'm going Robert Pattinson. What about you?
All right.
Don't even say George Clooney.
Oh, please. Nipple boy? No, not at all. Christian Bale, to me, was the embodiment of Bruce Wayne / Batman overall. Now, I will concede and agree that Pattinson for year 2, the young Batman was the best portrayal of a young Batman that's ever been on the screen. Okay. I will say that.
All right. I'll take that. It's like a half agree, but not really.
Right.
Well, there you have it. We respond. That segment's becoming a fan. That actually legit's coming a fan favorite. Last week I had people like, we need more of these. So
it's fun though. It's fun. We engage.
Right. Absolutely. And I'm doing. Listen, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the support. Like we started this for us, honestly. People. I got an email from a guy who he's a middle school teacher.
Okay.
And he runs like a superhero extracurricular club. like where they get into debates and all this stuff. He's a 5th grade teacher. He said when his kids get older, he'll introduce them to the podcast.
Okay.
But he gave some feedback he gave me about the podcast. He said that he likes the fact that, well, basically in a nutshell, says likes the fact that we're not experts and we don't make the viewer feel stupid for not knowing something or not or liking something that doesn't follow the comic, storyline, because there's a lot of other podcasts out there that do that.
Right.
And I kind of joke about the beginning of this podcast, but one of the reasons why I started this, Adrian, was I was looking for a comic book podcast. And when I saw what was out there, I was like, this sucks. Like, and I'm trying to be an ass, but there were a lot of experts that come across as very condescending and very like, we know it all and y'all suck.
Well, I'm in a couple other, like Facebook groups and stuff like, oh my God, Facebook, right?
What's that?
But I'm in that age bracket that, I still browse Facebook every once in a while. But there's a lot of people that call themselves experts. And they just, if you ask a simple question and it's like, oh my God, why are you asking that question? Don't you know? It's like, come on, dude. I mean, that's what we're here for, to learn and to share.
Absolutely.
And, that's my involvement in this podcast.